Hi everyone, and welcome to Rum Runner Dance. I'm Dan Genovese. Today we're going to be making a classic tiki cocktail, the Fog Cutter.
Oh, blow the man down, bullies, blow the man down. To me way, blow the man down, bullies, blow him away.
So today we're making the Fog Cutter, the second of the three iconic cocktails that Trader Vic was known for. And this one, well, while it's based upon the Trader Vic version, it's not his exact recipe, but a little bit more on that later. The Fog Cutter emerged originally in the 1940s by Trader Vic, and much like Don the Beachcomber, who was a master of blending rums to create a unique flavor profile in his drinks, Trader Vic did something very similar, except he used rum and other spirits. He didn't limit himself just to rum blending. So one of his best examples of doing this is the Fog Cutter. There's multiple different spirits in it. The 1940s version was a bit strong, and people used to get pretty drunk from only a couple of these things. There was a lot of rum in it, and also there was a lot of brandy in it too. So there's brandy, rum, gin, sherry, all inside of one drink. People would have 3 or 4 of these, in a night, and you'd wake up with one nasty headache. So he went, okay, all right, I'll cut back on it a little bit. So he made what was known as the Samoa Fog Cutter. And that's really the fog cutter that a lot of people are aware of, and they can actually go and they get it. It's normally based upon that, I'd say for the most part. So this one is the same exact recipe. They just cut back on the rum and they cut back on the brandy a little bit. Same flavor, just a little less potent. Now, that was the standard for the Fog Cutter for a long time. Now, like the Fog Cutter, much like Trader Vic's Mai Tai, it was very famous. A lot of tiki bars, especially during the golden age of tiki in the 30s, 40s, 50s, it was really, really imitated, and not always for the better. Martin and Rebecca Kate in their book Smuggler's Cove talk about that a little bit, and a lot of times, sometimes drinks evolve, but not for the better. The Fog Cutter, unfortunately, was one of them. There's tons of different variations on the Fog Cutter online that you could actually look up. Not all of them are going to be good. Tried some of them, some of them are okay, some of them are really good. Actually, I have a take on a Fog Cutter, but I don't call it a Fog Cutter, I call it something different. We'll go over that in a future episode. But really, no one was able to materially improve upon it until Martin Kate came up with his version. So he put in, instead of brandy, he's actually putting in pisco. Pisco is this herbal, vegetal type spirit, neutral spirit, clear spirit, and it comes from South America. Now that was actually favored by Don the Beachcomber chains, restaurants, and what they used in their version of the Fog Cutter. Kate talks about the reason why he brings the two of these together, both the pisco and using the rum and the orgeat and using that original template that Vic came up with, is he's trying to marry the two of these guys together and try to make them a little bit be friends now. I'm like, okay, that's not a bad idea to start with. He also switched out his sherry in here. Instead of using the cream sherry that was called for by Trader Vic in his drink, he uses Oloroso sherry, which is dry, which makes it for a very different flavor profile. So buy their book, remember, support their restaurant. A lot of restaurants are still going through a hard time with COVID right now. You can go, I will put a link to their website. You can go down and you can buy a copy of Smuggler's Cove book directly from them. I also believe, I have to double check, I'll put a little note down here to tell you if I'm right or not, that the book is signed too by Martin and Rebecca Kate. Well, it's signed. I actually don't know if it's signed by both of them, but you get a signed copy and it sends it to you, but also it helps to support the bar. So if you can, please support that bar. They are going through a tough time, as a lot of bars are, especially out in California. So go online, buy their book, make his drink, tag him on Instagram, tag me too. So with that, why don't we go ahead and let's start making the drink. Always least expensive, most expensive ingredient. So we're going to start out with fresh squeezed orange juice. This is Cara orange juice. It's like it's a little bit more tangy than regular orange juice, but it has a little bit less sugar in it. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of this guy right here. I like this one for cocktails a little bit better than just like navel orange juice. Okay, 1.5 ounces there. Next, lemon juice. So fresh squeezed lemon juice actually does separate after a while when it's left sitting. So just mix that up there. 1.5 ounces of this guy as well. Lemon and orange in Orgeat was the combination that Trader Vic really made famous, and it works so well, and this is such a great example of that actually working so well. Next thing we're going to put in is our Orgeat. This is homemade Orgeat. It's actually the recipe that comes from Martin and Rebecca Cates, so this is 1/2 ounce. You could use your own. You could also buy Small Hand Foods or use another really good kind that you buy online. Any of those will work. All right, next, starting to get into our spirits. We're going to leave the Oloroso out. That's a float for later. So the next thing we're going to put in here is London Dry Gin. I'm using Tanqueray. Still have it. So we're going to do 1/2 ounce of this guy in here. All right. Next is going to be our Pisco. You know, Pisco is really good, versatile spirit. Love the smell of it too. It's really good. There's a couple different kinds. So definitely make sure that you get a good brand of it. Some people don't, spend like too much when it comes to Tiki because you're not using it that much. It doesn't matter what kind of brand you get. Always make sure you get a good brand on your spirits here. For this guy here, it's going to be 1 ounce. Next thing we're going to put in here is rum. Now the rum that we're going to be putting in here, 2 ounces. I'm using Appleton Estate Signature. You don't have to use Appleton Estate Signature. You want to use a lightly aged rum. I like the Appleton here for this drink. Plantation 3-star works really nice. You can do Denison 3-year. That also works pretty good in this one as well. And there's a couple other ones that you could get that would work pretty well in here. You don't want something that has too much age on it, and you also don't want to use like a Jamaican rum that has a lot of funk on it. A little bit is okay like this one, but too much like a Smith & Cross, it blows the flavor out of the drink and it gets it real messed up. So don't use something too funky. But 2 ounces here. It's a brand new bottle, so it's doing a lot of glug. All right, now, next we need is ice. So I'm gonna go here, my trusty ice crusher. Put that guy here. First thing we're gonna do is grab ourselves some of our cubes of ice here with ice pieces that got stuck to it, so we'll just knock them off. Just crack those in half. I'm sure Pepper will be running out here in a second to grab some of those that fall on the floor. She loves doing that. These bigger pieces that I'm cracking and putting in here with this, it helps with the agitation of the actual drink, so that's actually why we're using it. All right, next, crushed ice. Apologize for all that noise. We're going to do 12 ounces, 2 of my scoops here. Okay, now we're going to flash blend this for 4 seconds. All right. Love that. Okay. Next, we're going to grab our mug for today. So our mug that we're going to be using is this guy here, this really nice mug. I'm going to show it here. This is from Tiki Farm. Yes. It's from Tiki Farm, but it's their bone collector mug. This comes in different styles too. If you go online, you can get different ones. But the reason why this one is like this is actually 3 dots and a dash from Chicago. I got the mug from them. It's my favorite Tiki bar. It's also local here. So I go to them when I can. I haven't been there in a while, but they actually did open up indoor receiving again. So I'm going to go back. This mug, it's really good. Reason why you want a mug here, you can use a fog cutter mug. Actually, you can go on Trader Vic's website. I'll put a link below. You can pick up their fog cutter mug. It's an hourglass shaped mug. But you want something that can hold quite a bit here because you're going to need, you have quite a bit of drink and then you got to put in quite a bit of ice. So make sure that you're really, get yourself a good sized glass. Put the drink in here. I'm going to pour that in. All right, and I still got plenty of room. I mean, this is really only full like up to there, and I got plenty of room for ice in here. So we're gonna top this off with a lot more ice, just like that. Get it nice and full. Crush that down in there. Really like to jam it in there. Get a lot of ice. Okay. All right. Next thing we're going to do, coaster. Woodrow coasters. I'm going to get some more of these, so you're going to be seeing some more pretty soon. They have a couple of different kinds in different styles, and they're actually coming out with a new one. One of them is rustic, which looks really cool. Kind of looks like a natural piece of cork. I'm going to be grabbing some of those and using them here soon. But this is their Madala series and the prints that you've always seen me use. These are really, really nice. I really like these. So we're going to go ahead and put our Woodrow coaster down. We're going to put our... Next thing that we're going to need to do is we have to float our Oloroso. Okay, so grab your little jigger. Also, what I like to use here are the little tiny jiggers that have a little pour. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab it. I'll show you exactly what I mean. These little guys. They're really easy. They're slanted, so you can read it really nice. And we're going to do 1/2 ounce here. And Oloroso sherry, just so you know, it's not like other sherries. Do look up, and I would say use a wine saver with this one. And you're probably not going to get through an entire bottle of it before it'll go. So you definitely want to make sure that you put some wine saver in it. It's basically an inert gas, completely harmless, but it's heavier than oxygen, so it sits on top of the actual wine itself, and it prevents it from spoiling as quickly. It still will go bad, but it won't go bad as quickly. So we're going to take our little bit of dry Oloroso sherry, and that's going to get floated right there on the top. Now, I am not a mixer. I don't like to mix that in because it does taste nice when you get close to the end to really get that. So, next thing we're going to do here is we're going to garnish this guy up. We're going to put in our mint. Tuck that in just like that. Looks nice. We're going to grab our straw here. Nice little glass Surfside Sips straw. Link below. Support a local business, great business. All right. And there you guys have it. That is Smuggler's Cove variation on the original 1940s Trader Vic fog cutter. Let's give it a taste. Yeah. It's so good. And the part about the drink that when you taste it, you get this sweet citrusy flavor. You get that slight nutty sweetness here from the Orgeat, but the part about this that really works really nice is the pisco that's in this, because that's a little like a little bit herbal in quality, a little vegetal in quality, and it adds a different dimension to the drink, kind of like very similar to what, you know, chartreuse does in A Last Word. How each kind of component is at contention with each other. What this one is doing is it pulls the citrus and sweeteners in one away from that It pulls away from the rum in another way. It kind of pulls towards the gin a little bit, but it adds a different layer of flavor onto this that the brandy just doesn't do in the original drink, and that's why it's so good. I would definitely tell you not to have a bunch of these. You will not like yourself for doing that in the morning. So I would say, 1, 2 of these, you're done. Move on to a lighter ABV drink. But there you have it, everybody. This is a fantastic drink. Please like and subscribe to our channel here, and follow us. We're going to have a lot more drinks coming out here real soon. And until next time, everybody, Kole Maluna.